You know, I'm really getting too old for this. I can't keep getting in the water where it's cold and I'm in Canada again. Oh well, we're getting ready for Christmas. So I'll just kind of flick the water off. See, that's good. Merry Christmas. And so we're going to start our show today. Soon we're going to take a look at a new book about Hamilton. You remember him. But before we do that, because of the season, we've asked our friend, the Crafty Canadian, to come back and with a new craft for us. Sandra, how are you doing? And I want to know, what is your family's? What is the moment the Christmas comes at your house?
Well, when I have everybody in one house eating one meal, because we don't have Christmas on Christmas Day. That day is for me exclusively. I don't cook. I don't do anything. I watch movies and eat leftover turkey. So, and of course, my family has their own families. So I always do about a week ahead. This year it's December 19th. And that for me is what it's all about. And the rest of it is just looking at the lights and my old decorations. Yeah.
So
the handcrafted decorations are what I like to see on my tree.
So do you still make any decorations, or are they pretty well all settled now?
Oh no, every year I create something and it either goes on my tree, but I hang things all over the house. Decorations don't have to just go on your tree. You can make something special out of if you have that one thing that you love, it doesn't have to go on the tree. You can make something so it has its own little space in your house. That's what I like to do, move them around a bit,
And in case people, for instance, find themselves in a new place, that's now, I'm in assisted living, so Christmas is way different than it used to be. Mm-hmm. One of the best Christmas trees I ever had, it was just probably a little 2 or 3 foot thing. And I wrote to my friends and asked them for pictures, just a picture of themselves. And so because I have my family, yeah. but all these, and so the whole picture was the whole tree was just lights and pictures. And you felt like, well, I am rich after all,
Oh, absolutely. It's something that you can touch and feel of that person. I have a lot of my aunties, and they're just so simple, because back in the day, and I try to do the same thing. I use things out of the home, and any scrap of paper is a potential something.
Well, that's really true. So, given all that, what have you brought us today?
I have really cute little ornaments made from a very old technique, and I'll show you this one.
I think we called that quill work, didn't we?
It is called quilling, and the nuns in the 1700s in Italy and France rolled paper and decorated books and the big tombs. So that's where it came from. And you can still buy quilling supplies. And I've got to show you one of my treasures. This is a quilled little angel that my auntie made probably in the 70s. She's gone now. She's 103. But, it's paper and it's precious. And this is obviously very detailed, but the basic art of quilling is very easy to do. And it's such a wonderful thing that you can do when it's rainy and you've got scraps of paper in front of you.
Well, so you're going to show us how to do it, right?
I would love to, Dorothy. I'll just pull my screen down here.
Look at that. I'm not sure I'm apt enough to do that.
Well, it's so much fun, too. You can see I've got toilet paper rolls, and I also have a different medium because you can really quill almost anything that's a little stiff.
What were the toilet paper rolls for?
So the toilet paper rolls, we're going to cut into little strips.
Oh.
Now you can measure them out or not, because it's as long as it's approximate, it's good. You don't even because you're going to build them on a flat surface. It doesn't matter if one tube is a little bit taller than the other because it will always be flat on the side that you've had down on your flat surface, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and all we're going to do, and you can see I've got little bits all over the place, right?
Right.
And so
now, where did the little bits come from?
These are the strips. So I'm going to show you, and you can put,
the kind of ones that look like eyes almost there.
Sorry, love?
But near your hand, your finger now, there's little things that look like eyes almost from here.
These ones here.
Yeah.
That is the quill. So we're going to take our little strip of paper, and as you can see, I've got a stick. It just makes it a little bit more round. If you choose to do this just with your fingers, which is also, you're just rolling that. For larger ones, I would use a larger tube. So if you do it by hand, you're going to get a little bit of more of an organic shape, and this one is actually on the stick. But you just roll them up like here, and now I don't know if you can see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just rolling that up so it's a little curl, right? A little circle. Yeah. So you make 2 or 3 of these. You've got your outside edge, which is the same. It's all the same strip that you've cut from one piece. And actually one toilet paper roll will make a whole design. What? So that's the end product. And as you can see, you would take all of these little circles and put them inside of one of your shells. So I'll go ahead and do that. Right. And then you don't want to have them all going the same way. So I'll turn that one upside down. Right. And each one is going to be a little bit different than the next. And that's part of the joy of it. Right.
How long does it take you to do each little figure?
Well, this has been like a minute and I'm talking, but you know what, Dorothy, I have fidgety hands. And of course, in the day it was busy hands are good hands, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Idle hands, the devil's, whatever the quote was. I'm glad I forgot the quote, actually. That was a thing, right? So I just sit and, you can roll them up on top of each other like that if your fingers aren't so agile, and mine are getting stiff too, right? So you got to use them while you can.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I'm wondering if folks my age could do that.
Well, that's where the stick comes in handy. And also, I got to tell you, this one's cute. Okay, so I'll just finish this little bit. So what you can see is I'll just put a little tiny dab of glue as it's sitting down on my table, and they'll all stick in there nicely. So you just put it on your table and do it flat. It's way easier than trying to pick it up. And as you can see, it doesn't matter that your tubes might be a different height or thickness, because you're going to, when you pick it up, this one surface will be flat, right? Oh, not enough glue on that one. But yeah, it's really, really cute. So then with your older hands, Dorothy, sorry.
I like the white one, yeah.
This one is the best because it's a wire, it's a twist tie. My husband seems to like to get a bunch of them every time he goes to the store. I don't know why, but I do now because it's wire. It's so very easy to make your, so this one's easy for any kind of older or younger hands because they go both ways, right? So you can just quill that up. And then for your outside, I'm going to simply put one together, edge to edge, end to end, and a little tiny bit of glue that. You put that together there, and then you can put your quill between your piece like that.
Well, that is really quite pretty.
Isn't it? And I mean, then, you know, you decorate it with a little bow. If you have a little scrap of yarn or ribbon, or, you know, a little jewel from the sticker department at the dollar store. And of course, I couldn't find any of the wire ornament holders. So this is actually a paper clip.
Well, but it works. Yeah.
Right. Whatever works. Exactly right.
Well, it has been great. You are not going to believe. Yeah, quickly tell us that thing, and then we're going to have to scamper away. How are you at scampering?
Oh, I can run pretty fast still. Yeah.
Those are beautiful. I just sometime we'll have to sit down and actually try to make them, because I think they're too. I just feel like they'd be too hard for me to do, but maybe not. You know.
Well, if you do the twist tie, because it's got that wire in it, and use a tool, because we don't have to do everything with our own. You know, we know how to. You know, we're crows. We can do and even if they're a little bit larger, Dorothy, honestly, you put a bead on top, and they're beautiful. So give your hands something to do.
That's wonderful. It's good to have our hands have something to do. But what we're going to do now with our hands are give Sandra a big hand to the little lady. I hope you and your family have a great Christmas. And we will see you next month with ideas for starting the new year. What you going to do about that?
Oh, every day's a new day, Dorothy, and celebrate it as such. And have very happy season to you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I will be hopefully where you are.
That will be very nice and good. And may all our memories be wonderful. So thanks so much. Excellent. Thanks for all your hard work this year. So now we're going to meet Helena Reynolds is going to talk about her new book called Destined to be a Hamilton. Doesn't that make you wonder? Of course it does. Okay, and we always look forward to having Sandra Solon, the Crafty Canadian, with us. So she'll be with us again next year, I know. But now we have a new book. Can we say a new author or not, Helena?
Yes, I'm a new author. It's my first book.
It's not easy to do this. Helena is a new author. Helena Reynolds has written a book, and it's true life stories of Mary Ann Hamilton, the granddaughter-in-law of U.S. founding father Alexander Hamilton. How'd you get yourself in such a mess?
Like, how did I meet Mary Ann?
Well, if I want, yes.
Yes, that's how it started. Actually, it started because I heard the soundtrack for the high-hyped musical Hamilton, and I learned so much history from it that I wanted to find out more. I knew I probably couldn't afford to buy a ticket because it was so expensive, but I did some research and found out that Hamilton was quite instrumental in the founding of our country. He was George Washington's right-hand man during the Revolutionary War, and he was also the Treasury Secretary, and he also was the when General Washington died, Hamilton was the #1 army man. And so I didn't learn any of this, and a lot of people.
And he established the United States Coast Guard.
He did. You want me to read the list? He did the Coast Guard.
No, I have a son who's a coastie. So
yes. He of course, yes. And he was very instrumental in the founding of our country. And it was interesting as to why his legacy was not as prominent as it should have. Now, the Coast Guard knows, banking people know, but most of us didn't. And so in my research, I met a gentleman named Rand Cholet, and I had started a discussion group, and Rand visited our discussion group on speakerphone and said, "You need to have Marianne as a guest." I didn't know who she was. He said she was married to Alexander Hamilton's great-great-grandson from 1966 until 1978. And her story is amazing. I had the privilege of meeting Marianne and Rand in Florida in 2019. And I really didn't know much about her. However, I discovered that Rand had started an organization called the AHA Society, because it stands for the Alexander Hamilton Awareness Society. He was an IBM computer analyst who was wondering who this Hamilton was. And when he actually didn't know, he decided other people might not know. So he started the society in 2010, 2011. Marianne was a member. And so that's how I met Marianne. And that's how I found out more about her.
Well, so now let's go back. And when did you decide, though, to write a book about her? And to tell you the truth, she's pretty what we call removed from the.
When I heard her story about how she met Alexander Hamilton's great-great-grandson, I was amazed that she had overcome so many different things. She had been a very struggling cocktail waitress in a Washington, D.C. cocktail lounge in the 60s, and Lawrence Morgan Hamilton, that's the great-great-grandson, and came in and she served him. And he was very, very enthralled by her and tipped her $50. And she was impressed, even though she was struggling. That was a big deal. And the next day she was off, and he came back and asked her coworkers, "Where's Marianne?" And they said, "She's off today." And he said, "I'm going to marry that girl." Well, she was aghast. He was 65 years old and she was 31, struggling, soon-to-be divorced waitress with 5 children. And so she tried to refuse him, thinking if he found out that she had the 5 kids that he'd leave her alone. But when he came back the next day and asked her out, she didn't really want to go, but she thought, "I'll get rid of him this way." She said, "I have my divorce. It's not finals yet." And he goes, "Neither is mine." He'd been married 4 times. Then she said, "Well, I have 5 children." And he said, "When can I meet them?" So that took her back a bit. And long story short, he was so good to the children. She agreed to date him. He took the kids on family outings. They went Christmas and Thanksgiving to hotels, spent the night. He got them all rooms, bought the kids clothes, bought her jewelry. And he was so kind to the children that she actually gave their relationship a chance. And so he actually... They were married on May 4th, 1966. And this is a picture of them on their property. He was living in a estate at that time, and that's with their dog. And that was in 1966 is when they were married. Well, fast forward. Were you wondering why she was so interested in the great-grandfather-in-law? Marianne went to see Hamilton in New York in 2016, 50 years later. And that is what inspired her to promote the legacy her late husband had been trying to promote, that she and most other people did not understand or appreciate. While she was there, she met the creator, producer, and star, Lin-Manuel Miranda, which was really special. And then after she got back to Florida, where she was living, they did an article in the paper about her going to see the play, the musical. Rand Chalet and a friend saw that article, and that's how she happened to meet him. And so Rand and his friend Greg took Marianne all kinds of places to speak, which is what she had wanted to do. And so they went to the Grange, which was where Hamilton had built for his family. And there's a big story about the Grange and how it had been moved several times and all. And then they were traveling all over the East Coast. They went to the Caribbean where Hamilton had been born. And then COVID-19 hit and they couldn't travel anymore. I had been sending my family's immigrant stories to Rand just because he liked my writing. And so he told Marianne he'd like her to write her stories down and he'd find a writer to help her. So he asked me several times if I would help Marianne with her story. And I liked her story, but I'm a novice. I don't know. I've never written a book. And so I said no. And then my mom got sick, and so Rand said, I'll find somebody else to help her. You go ahead and take care of your mom. And so I left. But in the meantime, Rand had a heart attack and passed away. And I didn't know that he had gotten someone or not. But I was on the phone with Marianne. I have a picture of Marianne and me on the phone. And I asked her, I said, so Marianne, it's who did Rand get to help you write your book? And she was quiet, and she said, I'm waiting for you, honey.
And so you said,
I have no clue what I'm doing. And she said, well, we'll have no clue what we're doing together. So we started writing the book. We used Zoom, we used the phone, and we emailed, and we started writing in 2022. And what happened was that it was published through Amazon because we didn't have time or money to go through a traditional publisher. So we published it on Amazon in 2023. And it was a really special time for her because her goal was to educate people about what her late husband's great-great-grandfather, General Alexander Hamilton, had done to help create and build the foundation for our wonderful nation. And until the musical came out, people didn't know.
And how did she do that? And what was the aim? How did she physically do it?
We produced the book, and she was able to go on various shows, interview shows. She also did reviews. We went to several libraries, and she was available to be a speaker, and we sold the book on Amazon, and people could just go on to Amazon and buy it. Then
and we have a picture of the two of you here.
Yep, that's the original book. That's Marianne and me. And then the original book was in blue. You want to know what's happened recently?
Not particularly. Anyway, there is the authentic book.
Yes.
Yeah, what has happened recently?
Well, the book had to be pulled down off Amazon, but it's still there. You can read the reviews. It was pulled down because
Why did it have to be pulled down off Amazon?
A traditional publisher saw the book, read the reviews, liked it, and sent us a contract for I have an agent now who contacted me and said that she thought that a traditional publisher would be interested, and she was right. So we have to pull it down because it's in production to be reproduced and published by a traditional publisher. So here's the new one. It says new expanded edition, and the expansion is an epilogue where I tell the story of how I met Marianne from my perspective. None of that is in the original book. And then also book club discussion questions, because people really have been using it for book clubs, but they want to know some of the questions. So I've written questions and added it to the book.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of questions did you get?
Oh, things like what if you found out that one of your ancestors had played a critical part in something really important, what would you do?
And what do you say?
Well, I would probably do what she did, which is try to find out as much as I could and continue the process that my late husband was trying to do, just to be able to educate people, because it was such an important feat that Hamilton contributed to our nation.
Well, and now, believe it or not, we pretty well run out of time. What would you like people to know about this? We don't know for sure when the new book will be out.
No, Sunbury Press had said that it should be out by the end of the year, which would be the end of the month of December. I'm not sure. Maybe we will know by the time this airs. But my favorite quote from Alexander Hamilton is, "If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything."
Anything, yes, that's great. So, so what's your next project? What are you going to do?
I actually was writing a book before Marianne contacted me, and I put it aside because of her asking me to help her. But it's about my family book. My parents have an unusual immigrant story, 17-year difference in age, and pen pal romance. My husband and I also unintentionally got engaged and married. So I've written those stories together with tips on how to prepare for estate planning. It's called Planning for the Event No One Wants to Talk About.
They're coming and going.
Yes, right.
So, okay, well, Helena Reynolds, this has been a delightful experience. But now, again, is the book available in its current form? Should people want to have it?
As of right now, it is available. If third party, there was one third party book that was for sale this morning that I saw, but it will be available on Amazon once and on Sunbury Press.
Okay,
website.
Great. And if they want to contact you, do you have a contact number?
Yeah, my website is HelenaReynolds.net. So my name's on the screen. It's just all one word, .net. And that's my website.
Okay, that's really good. And I can see that you're in for some exciting times ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And so we'll keep us posted, and we'll want to find out what's happening next.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We enjoyed having you with us today.
Okay.
And that brings us to the end of this show, and probably the end of 2025. Our next month's show is going to be about New Year's, and we've gotten this far. So I'm looking ahead and happily to seeing you then. And this is Dorothy Wilhelm. This is Swimming Upstream Radio Show, and I got my eye on you. I want you to know. So Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.